Hi everyone, today I'm in the kitchen with the bunnies and I'm finally going to answer all your questions. I did a questions and answers video a while ago asking you to think of some questions that you want to know about me or my pets, and it's taken a long time to get around to, and I'm really sorry about that. A lot of different things have come up. As you all know, Gizmo got sick and then we had the two new girls arrive and it's all been a little bit hectic. And I've tried filming this a few times, but it's always been like an hour long. So this video might be split up into different parts. But it's Sunday today and we thought we'd bring the girls in for a little run round inside for a bit of a change. So I'm going to film them while I answer your questions. Lovell Furries Cody Knorr, Lickle Paws, Lou and Ash Shed Zoo, Bonnie Peters and Mr Teddy Tubbs all ask, what was your first pet? And I grew up on a farm, so I've always been kind of surrounded by animals, but I think the first pet that I was probably given was a rabbit called Jasmine. Lovell Furries Cody Knorr, Hamster Learner 11 and Happy Hammy and Pets for the Win all ask, what's the next pet you would like to have? And there's loads of pets that I'd love to own in the future, but I don't have time or space for them at the moment. I'd love to have gerbils one day. I think they're really comical. I'd love chinchillas, tropical fish. I'd love a pygmy hedgehog. If you've seen my vlog from the London Pet Show a little while ago, I got to hold a pygmy hedgehog, which was really exciting because I don't know anyone personally with pygmy hedgehogs, so I'd never come in contact with them before, and I really like them. I think they're so cool. I'd also love sugar gliders, which I only recently kind of discovered, and I think they're really cool. And I'd love chickens, maybe rats one day, a dog and a kitten, but they're all for the future. Hello. Oh, I can't see the questions if you're sat on them. No. Hello. Hello. So Ruby's still molting, so she's looking a little bit rough at the moment, and she's got some silly hairdo going on. Okay, so Lovell Furries Cody Knorr, Pet Lover Forever 99 and Piggy Red Eyes all ask, how old were you when you had your first pet? So like I said before, I've always had kind of animals growing up, and we had a dog when I was born. My parents already had a dog, and we got another dog when I was little, but Jasmine, my rabbit, was the first pet I was properly given, and that was when my parents moved to Africa and I was 8. Lovell Furries Cody Knorr, Pet Lover Forever 99 and Piggy Guide ask, if you could have any pet in the world, what would it be and why? I think I'd have a panda because they're really cool and fluffy, and I think Gizmo looks kind of like a panda, so it'd be like having a giant Gizmo, and I think that'd be wicked. Lovell Furries Cody Knorr, Happy Hammy and Joanna C ask, what made you start a YouTube account? So I think to begin with, the reason why I started YouTube was because when I first got my animals, and before I got them, I did a lot of research into their diet and their housing, and stuff like that, with loads of different sources, and I'd learnt quite a lot, and I think mainly it was just to kind of keep all the information in one place, and so people could, if they wanted to know about housing or diet or anything like that, then they could refer to my channel. But I'd still recommend doing research from different sources, because you can't kind of take everything from one person, because they could be wrong. But I think that was the main reason I started, and also because while I was doing that research, I came across quite a lot of videos like hamster swimming and videos like that, which I know from the research that I've done isn't appropriate to be doing with your animals, but I think people do that sort of thing because they don't realise that it's not healthy. So kind of to educate people a little bit as well about the proper care of small animals, although I'm still learning things. I'm not an expert by any means, but just to help people basically, and to try and educate people. So Joanna C asks, has it paid off? And I think it has, but in more ways than I initially thought it would. So it's amazing that so many people watch my videos, and I've helped so many people, and I think that's absolutely amazing. But it's also really helped my confidence. So I've always been confident kind of around my friends, but with meeting new people I've always found it quite scary. And I think talking to a camera and knowing hundreds of people are watching my videos, even though I'm not doing it face to face, if that makes sense, it still really helped my confidence in approaching new people. And yeah, I think it's definitely really helped in more ways than I thought it was, and people watching my videos is just a bonus, really. Hi! They can hear chopping vegetables in the background. Pets Lover Small Zoo asks, how old is Marmaduke? Marmaduke was born on the 9th of August 2012, so she's about a year old. So, hey! So she's still pretty young. Hi Ruby. Oh dear, the bunnies are going crazy. So Hamster Learner 11 asks, I had to print off all the questions because my laptop is really loud, so I can't read it off my laptop because it makes a horrendous noise. So hey, can you shift your bum? She asks, have you ever had a dog? And I have. I've never owned a dog myself, but my family are dog people, and we've always had dogs growing up. And hello! When I was little, we had a collie called Rebel, and then we had a Jack Russell called Jack, who, if you're on my Facebook, will know recently had to be put down, which was really upsetting, because we'd had him for 17 years, so for quite a large chunk of my life we'd had him. And my parents have also got a collie called Kai. Hamster Learner 11 asks, how many hamsters have you ever owned? And if you've seen my hamster tag video, I've never actually owned hamsters before the 3 I have now. When I moved in with my boyfriend, he had a lovely Syrian hamster called Jebby Jefferson, who was absolutely lovely. So she was really the first hamster I came in contact with, and I fell in love with her. And then when she sadly passed away, we thought it was time to get another hamster, and that's when we got Igor and Vladimir. And then after having them for a while, we decided we'd like another Syrian. And that's when Marmaduke came along. So I haven't owned hamsters for that long, really. I never had them growing up. I was always more of a rabbit person. So yeah. They also ask, if you could invent a hamster cage, what would it look like? And this is a wicked question. I love this question. I think if I could invent any hamster cage, it would probably be like a dividing wall in a house that's made of glass. I don't know how ventilation would work, but this is in an ideal world, and it'd be like a dividing wall, and it would just be full of substrates. They could dig tunnels, and I think I'd fill it with lots of little dwarves or robos or something. Kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen those glass like wormeries where you put worms and mud in and they kind of dig tunnels and stuff. I'd like that with hamsters. Happy Hammy asks, what is the goal number of subscribers you want to get? And I always wanted 50 subscribers. That was always my goal. And after that, I haven't really thought about it. It's kind of been a whirlwind, really. And I'd like to also say that it shouldn't be about subscribers while you make videos. It should be about making videos that you're passionate about. But subscribers is always a bonus, and I think everyone's got kind of a goal number of subscribers that they want to get, and mine was 50, and when I reached that I was so happy, and I never really set another goal. Animal Lover 12,000 asks, have you ever owned a rat? No, I've never owned rats. My mum is absolutely petrified of them, so I was never allowed rats growing up, and when I moved out I never really thought about getting rats really, but I would love to get some in the future. I love how intelligent they are, and they're really active, which I love, and they're like giant hamsters with tails and I really love hamsters, so I'd definitely like to get rats in the future. They also ask what's the most pets you've ever owned at once, and that would definitely be how many I've got at the moment. Yeah, I never really planned to get this many, but it's just sort of happened, and I wouldn't change them for the world, but this will definitely be my limit for pets. And at the moment we have 12 pets, I think. Yeah, 12 pets, so I think that's definitely our limit. I don't think I have time in the day to clean out any more or spend time with any more. So Pet Lover Forever 99 asks, how many pets do you have in total? And yeah, like I said before, I have 12 pets at the moment. We have 6 guinea pigs, 3 hamsters, 2 rabbits and Sheldon. So yeah, you know. Oh, Ruby, you're such a fatty. Oh. So yeah, Pet Lover Forever 99 also asks, what's your favourite animal? And I don't know if they mean out of my pets, because that would be really mean. So I'm going to go with in the world, and other than my pets, because I could never choose between rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters, tortoises. I could never choose between any of my pets. So I'm going to say pandas. I love pandas. I just think they're really wicked. They look really cuddly. I'm sure they're probably not in real life, but I like to think that they are. So Piggy Red Eyes asks, when did you get your first pet? And like I said before, my first pet was Jasmine the rabbit when I lived in Africa with my parents. My parents got a job over there, so we moved over there, and I was 8 at the time, so I think because I was quite young and I was leaving all my friends and family, they got me a bunny, I think, as a little bit of a companion, really. So yeah, Piggy Red Eyes and Sparky and Tiny Channel ask, what kind of animal was your first pet? My first pet was a bunny. She was white with red eyes, and the girls are being so funny. She was white with red eyes, and she lived with my brother's rabbit who was black, and I'm not too sure what its name was, but there we go. You're a cutie. Horse Fantasy 1213 asks, are you openly willing to do a trade? And Ruby. And I'd like to take this opportunity to advise you all to be really careful when doing trades, because I know there are a lot of trades that go on within the small pet community on YouTube, because there's a lot of treats and toys and stuff that you can get in America which we can't get in the UK, and vice versa, and in loads of different countries there's different treats and toys and things like that. But I'd like to advise you all to be careful and make sure you know the person you're sending it to, or you've got to know them and you know they're going to keep up, whoopsie, their end of the trade, because about a year ago my boyfriend's teasing Ruby, that's so mean. About a year ago I went to do a trade with someone I'd got to know fairly well on YouTube, because I wanted to make sure I was sending it to someone I knew, but basically I spent about £30 or £40 altogether on the products, and then also sending it to America first class to make sure she got it early, and basically I spent quite a lot of money and a lot of time putting it together, and I put a lot of love into it, and I never received anything back, and it can be quite upsetting, and I don't want any of you to go through that, because it's a little bit, you lose a little bit of faith in humanity, because I'm quite a trusting person. I like to think that Oh, Daddy's so horrible to you. So yeah, anyway, if you are going to do trades, be a little bit careful with who you're trading with, because I'd hate for that to happen to any of you. And I think, yeah, it's just a little bit upsetting really when something like that happens. So Mill Wilson asks, how old are your guinea pigs? Gizmo and Jafar are about a year, a month and a bit. Snoopy's about 2 years and 5 months. Ollie's about a year and a month, and Silver and Pearl are 3 in April, I believe. That's all a bit rough, but that's about how old they are. They're all pretty young. Sparky and Tiny Channel and Mega Horse Girl 2000 asks, what is your favourite small animal brand? I really like natural kind of products. When I first got all of my animals, I went a little bit crazy, but from my experience, I really like natural. So like the Woodlands range, the Naturals range, anything kind of with natural ingredients and no kind of added rubbish, and things like willow balls and natural forages and things like that. I don't tend to stick to certain brands though, but there are things that put me off brands. So for example, if I find a treat that's marketed at guinea pigs and rabbits, but it contains seeds and dairy and things like that, then that really puts me off buying from a brand, because I think that not everyone's going to read the packet before they give it to their animals. So if the brand is kind of aiming their products at that type of animal, then they should really be careful that all the ingredients are suitable. So that's the sort of thing that puts me off. But other than that, I pretty much buy from loads of different brands really. I buy things that look cute and tasty. So Sparky and Tiny Channel ask, which is your tamest piggy and hamster? So when it comes to opening, start with the hamsters. When it comes to opening the cage, it's probably Vladimir or Igor, because they'll run straight out on my hand. They're really, really friendly then, but when it comes to handling them, because they're so active and kind of hyper, they just run around, and they're not that tame when it comes to sitting in my hand, because they just move at 100 miles an hour and there's a million and one things they want to be doing. So when it comes to actually holding the hamster, I think Marmaduke is probably the tamest, because she'll just kind of sit there. Hello, you're tame too, aren't you? And she'll kind of just sit there and let me do whatever. All my hamsters are really, really tame. I'm really lucky with them. Vladimir's a little bit nippy, but to be honest, I'm really, really lucky with all my hammies. They're so lovely and tame. With guinea pigs, when it comes to putting my hand in the cage and who'll come up to my hand, it's definitely Gizmo. Gizmo will always run up to my hand and let me stroke him pretty much whenever, whereas most of the other pigs won't. But when it comes to getting them out and for lap time or anything like that, then Snoopy's probably the tamest, because Gizmo, Jafar and Ollie all zoom around and they want to be climbing on things and chewing things they shouldn't be, whereas Snoopy's quite happy to sit there and just relax. But I think that's because he's a little bit older. And Silver and Pearl are really, really tame as well. Silver seems to be the tamest out of the two, and she'll just let me stroke her in the cage and sit on my lap and let me stroke her. But when they're out of the cage, both of them are really, really tame, so I'm really lucky with my pigs as well. Cat Loves Cats asks, what pets have you previously had? Ooh, this is tricky. Because I grew up on a farm, I've kind of had animals everywhere. There's been some like special cows which we've kind of classed as pets. If they've been really, really tame, we've kind of classed them as pets. There was a cow called Cynthia who was really, really tame that we had when I was younger, and when we were really little, we used to sit on her back. She used to lie down and we'd just sit on her back, and she was just lovely, absolutely lovely. We've had chickens. I had a special chicken called Marvo, the Wonder Chicken, and I'd put him on one hand and he'd run up my arm across my back onto the other hand and fly off. And yeah, so we've had chickens, like free range chickens. I've had rabbits. I had Jasmine when we were in Africa, and I also had a beautiful dwarf lop called Smudge, and he was kind of white with like a grey smudge across his back. He looked quite similar to Ruby in size, and he was quite a bit bigger than Ruby, but his ears were floppy and stuff, if that makes any sense. We had a collie called Rebel and Kai, and we had Jack, the Jack Russell Terrier. I had a goldfish called Bernard. I've had a few different fish. We had minnows as well called Millie, Molly and Mandy. I think when we were in Africa, we had 3 horses called James, Wahoo and Tufty, and we had 2 dogs as well in Africa called Rosa and Moja. Hello. And who else have we had? We had Jebby Jefferson the hamster, and I think that might be it. No, you're not going in there. I think that's about it. I might have missed a couple out, but yeah, I think that's about it. And Lou and Ash Shedzu asks, how many pets have you had? And I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know. I haven't kind of kept track really. They also ask, which one of your pets' names is your favourite? I really like the name Jasmine. I think that was a really good name for a rabbit. And I also really like the name Ruby. I think that suits her really well. And I like Gizmo's name as well because that suits him. I like all the names of my pets really, which is kind of why I named them it, but I think those are my favourites. They also ask, if you could ask your pets one question, what would it be? And I'd have to ask the guinea pigs why they poo so much. And also I'd love to know what Gizmo's saying, because he's so noisy. He's the noisiest guinea pig I've ever seen. He's just constantly squeaking, and I'd love to know what he's talking about or whether he's just kind of talking gibberish. Mega Horse Girl 2000 asks, what are your favourite foods? And I have a really sweet tooth, so kind of chocolate, sweets, strawberry laces, anything with lots of sugar. But the downside of that is it makes holes in your teeth. She also asks, what do you like to do in your free time? And to be honest, my pets take up a huge amount of my free time, with cleaning them all out, spending time with them. I also do a lot of research in my spare time on their diet, their housing. I watch a lot of YouTube videos as well to see how other people look after their pets and to see if there's a way that I can improve the care for mine. So my pets take up a huge amount of time. But I also do quite a lot of crafty things, like kind of scrapbooking, smash booking. I make things that are polymer clay as well. I did kind of art as A-levels, so everything kind of arty. I'm not very good at like painting, but I do it anyway because I enjoy it and I think that's really important. So generally quite a creative person. I also really enjoy travelling, going to new places and experiencing new cultures and lifestyles, and also music. I go to quite a lot of concerts and festivals when I can, although I haven't been able to for a little while, but that's what I enjoy as well. Joe Streeter said, show your face, which isn't a question, but I'm going to use this as an opportunity to talk to you a little bit about well, the reason why I don't show my face. I do in some videos, you will kind of see me in the background, but I I think the main reason why I didn't show my face to begin with is because people do judge you by your first impressions, and they can't help but do that. It's kind of human nature. But I do tend to get judged generally for the way I look, because I've got kind of piercings and dyed hair, and I do tend to get judged on that basis, and people kind of initially put you in a box based on what you look like. And because this is a channel for animal care, I wanted people to judge me and watch my videos or not watch them based on my animal care, which is what my videos are about, rather than the way I look. So that's the main reason. And also because I think, because the videos are based on my animals, I would, I don't know, I just feel a bit weird pointing it at me rather than them. I'll probably do some videos with my face in the future, maybe like a haul or something like that. But I don't know, I find it quite weird talking to a camera as well. And I'd also like to say to everyone who's maybe a little bit younger, to be a little bit careful if you are putting your face kind of on the internet, because once it's on the internet you don't really have any say in kind of what happens to it or where it goes. And you can't take stuff down either. Once things have been put on the internet, you can't properly take them down. And also you could be exposing yourself to kind of negative comments or something like that. And I'd also like to urge people who maybe go onto people's videos and ask them why they don't show their face, or can you show your face. And I'd like to say it's totally 100% people's decision whether or not they want to put their face on the internet. And I know some people want to see what people look like, but try not to persuade them, because I think it's down to what they want to do, and it's their privacy at the end of the day. So yeah. Sugar Glider Love 123 asks, is it hard to own a bunny? And I think it's much harder than people initially think. I think, hello, am I talking about you? Oh, I think it's a lot harder than people initially think. People tend to believe, if you go to a pet shop or something like that, then they'll just say, get a hutch, some bedding, some chews, some hay, and you're sorted. But rabbits are very, very, very intelligent animals, and they do need a lot of mental stimulation, they need a lot of exercise, they need a lot of time. So they are quite complicated animals. Once you've got their setup and you're in a routine, I think it's quite easy to maintain that. But you do need a lot of time, and also they are quite expensive animals, whereas people tend to think they're quite a cheap pet, but they're not, they're quite expensive. And also they're not kind of the cuddly lap pet that people initially think either. Both of my rabbits absolutely hate being picked up, so we don't pick them up unless we have to, unless we're kind of, they need their nails cutting or something like that. But we don't pick them up generally, and we don't put them on our lap, and yeah, we'd kind of just put a playpen and sit in the playpen with them if we want to give them some attention. They don't just kind of sit on your lap and look cute. And they do get absolutely huge. If you can see Ruby, she is absolutely massive. So they do need a lot of space and time, and they're quite a big commitment as well, because they can live kind of 10 years, so they're a big commitment, but they're absolutely lovely. Jacob Hughes asks, do you like gerbils? Yes, I love gerbils. I've never owned any, and I don't really, none of my friends own gerbils either, so I've never really come in contact with them, but through watching other people's YouTube videos I think I know quite a bit about them. So I'd love to own them in the future, but not at the moment. He also asks, what's your favourite animal you can't own? Maybe chinchillas, or a pygmy hedgehog, or something like that. Or probably a dog, actually. I'd really, really love a dog. but I don't have the space or time or anything like that at the moment. But yeah, so I think I'd own every animal ever if I could. And Zara asks, how old are you? I am in my 20s. The Sophie 12 asks, how many pets do you have and what was your first pet? I think I said this earlier, I have 12 pets at the moment. Oh, and who was my first pet? My first pet out of these was, out of the ones I own now, was Ruby and Shindig, who are here. Ellie Phillips asks, have you ever thought of putting all your piggies in a herd? I would absolutely love all my guinea pigs to live together in one massive cage. I would absolutely love that, but boars are really, really tricky. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier with a group of girls, but boys really aren't made to live together. In the wild, you'd have a herd of one male and then loads of females and then their babies. You wouldn't get a group of males in the wild, and they're just too dominant and territorial, and they would fight. And also, I wouldn't risk it because I know my boys' personalities, and I know it just wouldn't work, because I think it would if you had some boys that weren't too dominant, but I know all my boys are particularly tricky, so unfortunately it wouldn't work. But there we go. And she also asks, how did you think of all your piggy names? When I first name an animal, I write down a list of names that I'd like, or names that they look like to me, and then I just try them all out. So it takes me quite a while to name an animal, because I'll try out different names and just see what sticks and what suits them. For example, when I named Gizmo, he went through loads of names before I decided on one, but I decided on Gizmo because he looked like, I don't know if you've seen the film Gremlins, he looks like a little creature on there called a Mogwai, and the Mogwai in the film was called Gizmo, and to me he looks like him, and he also makes the little noises. So the Mogwai in the film is always kind of singing, and I think that's what Gizmo sounds like to me as well. So yeah, Jennifer Rose asks, what's your favourite part of owning a pet? And there's lots of different parts that I really enjoy. Unconditional love, I think your pets kind of always love you and they're always trying to get your attention, and apart from cats, I think cats are quite independent, but yeah, they don't care if you're having a bad day, and they don't care kind of what you look like. They kind of love you for who you are, which I think is lovely, and I just really enjoy caring for them, and I think they've got such huge personalities. All of them are so individual, and you can form a really strong bond with them, which I really like. Blue Dragon 200305, sorry if I said that wrong, asks, what is your favourite colour and type for your guinea pigs? I love like guinea pigs with crazy hair, so Abyssinians, Silkies, Peruvians, Rex, Texels, Teddies, Alpacas. Like I love guinea pigs with crazy hair, or no hair, but that's kind of what I go for in the way they look, but it's mainly kind of the personality. If I go into a rescue and I'm trying to pick a guinea pig, then I'll get them out for a cuddle and I'll see which personality that I fall in love with. I think that's more important than looks, but I do love guinea pigs with crazy hair. Lickle Paws asks, what is the funniest thing your pets have ever done? And my pets are always doing funny things. I don't know if there's a specific time that I've thought they're just ridiculous, but they're always doing silly things. I think probably the funniest thing was when my old dog Jack, he got a big bag stuck on his head, like a big crisp bag. He got it stuck on his head, and he couldn't see, basically, and he had this bag on his head, and he was going, "Hawoo, hawoo." So my mum had to go in, kind of rescue him. He could still breathe and everything. It was but yeah, that was quite funny. And when he was getting a bit older and wasn't quite as good at jumping, he kind of jumped up and tried to get on this chair and missed and kind of ended up in the log basket. So I think animals generally are just always doing funny things. Gabby Gray asks, how many guinea pigs do you have? I currently have 6 guinea pigs. Gizmo Jafar, Snoopy Ollie, Silver and Pearl. The Guinea Piggy Girl asks, what is your favourite breed of guinea pigs? I can't choose between my guinea pigs. All guinea pigs kind of seem to have different personalities, but within that, different breeds seem to have different personalities as well. So Abyssinians tend to be more hyperactive and crazy, and Rex seem to be kind of more laid back, and I don't know, I love all guinea pigs. Tails and Scales XOXO asks, if you could travel to any 3 places in the world, where would they be? This is really tricky because I'd love to go to loads of different places. This is really tricky. I'd love to go to India. I think it just looks so colourful and beautiful. Or Tibet, and kind of, I don't really know why, kind of chill with some monks. I don't really know. I'd love to go to America as well. I've never been. I'd love to go to Miami. I think that's because there's a TV programme I watch called Dexter, which is about a serial killer, but it just makes Miami look so beautiful, with kind of palm trees, and the weather always looks really nice. So if you live in Florida or Miami or somewhere like that, then leave a comment and let me know if it's actually really nice weather all the time, because it looks like it is. Or California. I think California would be nice. That always looks really pretty as well on TV. I don't know if it is in real life because I've never been. Or the Caribbean. I'd love to go kind of on a cruise to the Caribbean, I think. I just want to go somewhere hot because the UK is always cold all the time. They also ask, what is the average monthly cost of owning a pair of guinea pigs? This is a bit tricky question because I might do a video on this actually, going into it in a bit more detail. But it depends really what you buy and how much you buy and where you buy it. And also because I've got 6 guinea pigs at the moment, I buy everything in bulk. But I think what you want to do for this really is make a list of things that you'll need. So like food, hay, chews, vegetables, that's a big cost. It also depends where you live as well, and what time of year it is as well, because like vegetables are a lot more expensive in the winter because they're out of season. But you're probably going to spend about £5 a month on hay, maybe £5 a month on food, but it all depends what food you buy, and I think I'll make a video on this going into more detail. Or message me if you'd like kind of a more specific answer, because it's quite a complicated answer. They also ask, what career do you plan on pursuing in the future? And I'm not too sure actually. I've kind of gone into a bit of a crisis at the moment because I was working with small children and families in a children's centre for a while, and then I was working in kind of a youth work setting with 8 to 15-year-olds with behavioural difficulties, and now I've kind of decided that I want to work with animals. So I honestly have no idea. I'm having a bit of a crisis. I've just gone back to uni to top up my foundation degree to a degree in health, community and social care. My foundation degree was in mental health, So basically I'm all over the place at the moment. I don't really know what I want to do. But yeah, hopefully I'll work that out soon. Jacob Hughes asks, what's your favourite pet item? My favourite pet item overall, which all of my pets like, is probably actually like cardboard toilet roll tubes or kitchen roll tubes. That's probably my favourite. Hello. It's probably my favourite thing for the pets overall, because it's the thing that all of them really like. And I've actually got a video on homemade toys for small animals, so you can see kind of what I do with them to make them a bit more exciting. But if I kind of cut slits up the side and make it a bit more interesting for them, then that's kind of the only thing that all of my pets seem to like. Even Sheldon, if I put a cardboard toilet roll tube in his enclosure, then he'll kind of climb up over it and slide down the other side. And I think that's the only thing that all of them really enjoy. But chews generally is probably my favourite thing, because obviously it keeps them healthy, it keeps their teeth down, and it stops a really, really expensive trip to the vets. Dave Circus asks, what video editor do you use? I use Sony Vegas Pro 9.0, and that's because when I first got my camera, I couldn't edit the files in any other softwares I tried, any of the free ones, and because I use a Sony camera, I thought I'd just get a Sony editing software, so that way it would definitely work with it. But that one you do unfortunately have to pay for. She also asks, why do you love guinea pigs? I think I fell in love with guinea pigs, I think they've got crazy personalities. I think also the fact that they're so vocal and active, and they're always popcorning and running around. The way they interact with each other as well. They'll snuggle up together, or they'll be arguing with each other over a house or something like that. And also the way they look, I think they've got very lovable faces, and they're kind of like, well, they are rodents, but whereas with hamsters they're nocturnal, guinea pigs are not nocturnal. They're more active in kind of dawn and dusk, so they're awake at the same time we are, and they're more of a lap pet than, say, rabbits, which are not a lap pet at all. Guinea pigs, you can get them out on your lap while you're watching a film, and you can have kind of more of a snuggle with them. And she also asks, how did you come up with your rabbits' names?